A good camera operator will be familiar with the shot sheets or show rundown before walking onto the studio floor. Understanding what camera you will be operating, when your shot may be taken live, and any special movement you'll need to perform will aid you when working in a live production environment. Plan for how you'll move your camera and when so you don't inadvertently block another angle that will be on air. Know if you will require the assistance of a cable puller and coordinate your blocking with the stage manager if necessary. A common element to look for in a news rundown is reframing a medium close-up to allow room for an over-the-shoulder box to appear beside or behind the talent. Now that you are prepared, it's time to get to work. Once your studio camera is set up and in position, it's time to start using it. Clip your shot sheets or show rundown to the camera so you can refer to it throughout the production. Press the power button to turn the camera on if it isn't already powered up by the technical operations staff. Do the same for the teleprompter. Unlike when operating a camcorder, a studio camera will have a camera control unit that is used by the technical operations crew to control certain aspects of the camera and its settings. This includes things like shading. That way, all camera angles will feature the same matching iris, shutter, and white balance settings. A camera shader allows for the independent operation of those functions. A good example of why this is necessary is a football game played late in the day when the lighting transitions from daylight to the stadium lights. Bottom line, you won't have to worry about controlling any of those settings when operating a studio camera. On the Blackmagic Design Studio Camera, you should never have a need to change anything in the camera group of settings. Once a camera is ready for use by the camera operators, these controls should already be preset by the technical operations staff. The audio menu group is another area that can typically be ignored when using the studio camera in a multi-camera setting such as a news studio. That's because any audio sources will be sent directly to the audio engineer from elsewhere, not through your particular camera's audio inputs. What you will need to do is put on your headset so you can be in communication with the rest of the crew. Usually it will be a one-way dialogue where you have no need to speak. But in the event that you do need to say something, you can use the PTT button to talk back to a member of the technical staff. Holding push to talk will momentarily open up your headset's microphone so you can talk. Releasing it will mute the mic. If you push it twice in rapid succession, that will keep the mic engaged for a longer conversation. Pushing PTT again will mute the mic at the end of your conversation. You can adjust the volume and sensitivity of your headset by pressing the menu button and navigating to the studio group of settings. Just look for the headset icon. Use the arrow buttons to do this, as the screen is not a touchscreen. Press Set to commit or save a changed setting to memory. Next, you'll want to set your focus. Zoom into your talent's eyes using the telephoto and wide-angle rocker situated on the right handle of the pedestal. This control is pressure sensitive, meaning how fast the movement happens depends on how hard you press down with your thumb. To zoom in, press down towards the telephoto end of the rocker. To zoom out, press down in the direction of the W to set your angle wide. Once zoomed in on your talent's eyes, you'll want to set your focus using the focus knob on the left handle of the pedestal. Rotate until your talent's eyes are in focus. Why the eyes? Our eyes communicate emotion. Obviously, if your source is live on any kind of monitor that the talent can see, you may want to pick a different area, such as the shoulders, that will still achieve your desired level of focus without making the individual feel uncomfortable. In higher resolutions like HD, 4K, or even 8K, focus becomes critical. Peaking is a tool that helps camera operators achieve critical focus by highlighting the edges of pixels that have a sharp contrast, indicating they are an edge that's in focus. You can turn it on or off by pressing the focus button on the Blackmagic Design Studio Camera. You can also change its sensitivity by going to the menu. Pressing the menu button and using the arrows to find the monitoring set of options is where you'll see a setting for focus peaking level that can be adjusted. You'll notice there is the ability to display a zebra pattern, but if shading is being handled by the technical operations crew, you'll want to keep that turned off since you won't have control over the iris anyway. With proper back focus calibrated on the camera lens, Once the shot is in focus, it is safe to zoom back out, and as long as the distance between the camera's lens and the talent or object you set your focus on remains the same, you won't have to refocus when zooming in throughout the show. With your focus set, it's now safe to frame up your shot according to the script or rundown. During a show, you'll know if your camera is on air or live by looking for the red tally light to be illuminated. The tally light serves two purposes. One is to let you know that your shot is up so you don't do any deliberate movement that isn't called for in the script or by the director, and the other is to let the talent know which camera to present towards. To see a less cluttered, clean feed on the viewfinder of the camera, simply press the display button to turn off the display overlay. Display overlay shows critical information such as visual guides and the name of your camera. If you want to see what's on the air, press the Program button to see a return feed sent back from production control to your camera. Some zoom rockers have this button on them, but depending on the cameras in use or how the video is routed, they may not be wired to work. When finished using your camera, power it down by holding in the power button at the end of the day's show. Remember to also power off the teleprompter. Good luck and stay alert.